This next story is truly incredible. Angela Primaceko had to be put in a medically induced coma because of COVID-19. Of course, that's scary enough. But Angela was also 36 weeks pregnant at the time. While she was in the coma, doctors delivered her baby girl that was 13 days ago. And we are happy to report baby Ava is doing well in the NICU this morning. And Angela was just released from the hospital this past Saturday and is with us this morning live from her home in Washington State. Angela, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Let's get right to it. At least you were home in time for Easter. Good morning.
Yes.
I know it was bittersweet, which we'll get to in just a moment. But first of all, how are you feeling physically? Your body has been through so much.
Well, surprisingly exhausting, but yeah, definitely my body's been through a lot.
Yeah, I know it's not 100% relief for your family because you still haven't been able to hold your daughter yet. Explain to our viewers when you expect to see her in person, because as I understand it, as of yesterday, did you still test positive for COVID-19?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. That's the thing. As the doctor was just saying earlier, they're still so new that they just don't know. They say, I have to have 2 negatives in a row in order for me to be able to see her. Excuse me. And so they don't know. It's hard to say because this is so new and such a new thing going on.
We're looking at you. You're 27. You're relatively healthy. Take us back to late March. I know you went into the hospital. You had some symptoms. Did you think you had COVID-19 at the time, or were you just, obviously you were pregnant, so you were probably just trying to be safe?
Yeah, so I work as a respiratory therapist, so I'm aware that, it existed. And so I was taking precautions, and I didn't go to work because I was like, I'm pregnant, and I don't know where I caught it. I don't know what happened, but somehow I just ended up coming to the hospital and just getting sicker and sicker and ended up intubated.
My goodness. So at the time you were 33 weeks pregnant with your second child.
Yeah.
Did you even think about the fact that you could give birth while you were in there?
Well, I have an amazing OB, and we talked a little bit. And when I came in, she was like, I don't think we're going to go down this path. And obviously nobody expected that I was going to get that sick. So no, absolutely not. I did not expect to deliver my child.
And then how soon after you woke up did they tell you about the birth of your beautiful daughter?
Well, I don't even know, to be honest. After all the medication and everything, I just woke up and all of a sudden I didn't have my belly anymore. It was just extremely mind-blowing. Yeah. Your
daughter is named Ava. I was reading last night what it means. Tell everybody. It's special.
Yes, it means breath of life. So she's our new little breath of life.
Amen to that. I know your husband has met her. You FaceTimed with her. You have another young daughter at home we should tell everybody about. Tell us about Big Sister and how old she is.
Yes, so I have Emily, and she's only 11 months old. And so Emily and Ava are going to be, well, I guess 10 months apart because Ava's now almost a month. Well, she's 2 weeks old now since she gave birth, or I gave birth 2 weeks ago.
11 months, my goodness. Now, again, you mentioned you're a respiratory therapist. Tell me about the colleagues who took care of you. I know they were extra special to you, and they did something special for you when you left the hospital.
Yes. Well, first of all, my OB was amazing, but my colleagues in general, because I was under anesthesia, I don't even know who to thank. Everyone did a standing ovation and just clapped me out of the ICU, which was so amazing and such a huge thing to be able to leave the ICU and then go to the floors. It's just the grace of God.
Oh, those pictures make all of us want to cry. Now that you're on the other side of this, or at least you're on your journey to the other side of this, what do you want all of us to know?
That there's hope, that even in the hardest days and in the hardest times, that there's hope, and you can rely on God and people and community. And the amount of community and people that were praying for me is just unbelievable. I was blown away, and I'm so incredibly thankful that I feel like I'm a miracle walking.
Well, now you've told us your story. You'll have so many more people praying for you. I want you to do me a favor, because I'm going to pray that you're going to meet that baby Ava and get to hold her sooner than later.
Yes.
You're going to get baby Ava and big sister Emily, and you guys are all going to be together. And I would love to talk to you again right here on Third Hour today, when we can have a celebration that you're all together.
I would absolutely love that. Yes.
All right, I'll take that. Angela Primaceko, God bless you. We'll check in again with you soon.
God bless you too.
This is Precious Anderson. She was pregnant.
Did you have a name for the baby?
About 2 months before her due date, she had severe COVID-19. Actually so severe that her baby had to be delivered by C-section to try to save both of their lives. In fact, she couldn't actually visit her baby.
There you go, Precious.
And then it was amazing because we got to watch her video chat with a nurse who was with her baby. And Precious Anderson got to see her baby, David.
Wonderful, right?
We actually went to visit him, and he was moving around, he was stretching, pointing his toes like a little dancer. He was so cute. Actually, he tested negative for COVID. At this hospital, 7 of the pregnant women who tested positive for COVID have given birth, and their babies have generally done very well. None of them have been confirmed to have COVID. I'm Sherry Fink. I'm a correspondent at the New York Times. For the past several weeks, Victor Blue, a photographer, and I have been able to spend time at the Brooklyn Hospital Center. And for the story published this week, we spent time with pregnant mothers on maternity and in the intensive care unit.
What we're finding out sometimes is that a patient comes in totally asymptomatic and starts to have symptoms in the postpartum area. We had a couple of those over the weekend.
Dr. Errol Beyer is the chair of obstetrics and gynecology, and he said that this moment, which should be such a joyful moment in a family's life, bringing new life into the world, that in fact now it's anxiety-provoking.
How you doing?
What struck me was people doing the typical things you would do on a maternity ward, but doing them with masks, with face shields, with gloves, with gowns.
And I'm going to put her on the EFM machine, monitor the baby, the heartbeat of the baby.
Many of the staff members on the maternity ward and in the neonatal ICU are out sick. So there is a level of fear. Bashery McKenzie was also on the intensive care unit, and she's pregnant, and she got very sick with COVID. She was so afraid, and of course it's really hard because you're alone. You can't have any visitors.
I just look at them on my phone every day and just try to pull through.
When I met her this Monday, she was so much improved.
My 3-year-old daughter keeps me going.
And she was able to continue her pregnancy.
Your respirations are pretty okay. Okay? Very good.
So there are a lot of very sad stories with COVID-19 of people in the intensive care unit, many of them not making it. So it was amazing to see this young woman who had been so sick was able to pack up her bags and actually go home. And she's one of the success stories.
You made it. You're telling a great story, honey. We're proud.
You gotta have heart, and you had it, so we're very proud of you.
Thank you for allowing us to take care of you.
I spoke with the intensive care unit doctors, and they said when people like Ms. McKenzie get to leave the hospital, get to come off a ventilator, out of an intensive care unit, and recover enough to go home, that it's giving them the energy to keep going.
So much of everyday lives are being impacted by the virus, but can you imagine being pregnant and nearing your due date? New tonight, we're learning it's leading to more women choosing to give birth outside of the hospital. News 8's Jacqueline Francis has our story tonight.
Stay home, stay safe. It's a phrase pregnant women are taking to heart. For Jacqueline Shea, one of West Michigan's newest moms, it came down to a last-minute decision.
My husband and I, our birth plan was originally to give birth in the hospital. That's what we did with our first son. And we had a really great experience. But, you know, with everything going on, we got kind of concerned just with how safe is it going to be in the hospital if that's where all the sick people are.
The couple took their concerns to Jennifer Holshoe with West Michigan Midwifery, and as it turns out, they weren't the only ones.
As women are concerned and families are worried about going to the hospital and possible exposure, another anxiety for families at the moment is the concern that they won't be able to have the support people with them at the hospital when they get there.
A new reality expecting mothers are facing as hospitals nationwide limit the number of people allowed in the delivery room and visitors in general. On Saturday, Jacqueline delivered a healthy baby boy in the comfort of her own home.
With everything that's going on, it just seemed like a no-brainer for us.
As more expecting mothers come to that same conclusion, midwives are scrambling to meet the increased demand, while families struggle to cover the cost, as most insurance plans, including Medicaid, don't cover out-of-hospital births.
We are hoping that insurance companies will start to cover this more for families.
Last week, Friends of Michigan Midwives sent Governor Whitmer this letter asking she issue an executive order that would extend Medicaid coverage to licensed midwives as it aligns with the public health goal of preventing the spread of COVID-19. The owner of Simply Born, another midwife service in West Michigan, stands by this request, seeing it as a way to help hospitals focus on the pandemic.
That there is just so much pressure on the hospitals. If we can alleviate some of that pressure by taking some of the lower risk women out of that, then the hospitals can then focus on what's happening with the epidemic.
Friends of Michigan Midwives have yet to hear back from Governor Whitmer. In the meantime, experts we talked to say it's important to note that home births are not for everyone and that hospitals are still able to provide safe and quality care. For more on this, head to our website, woodtv.com. Reporting in studio control, Jacqueline Francis, News 8.
A Warren couple counting their blessings tonight. Their newborn son is home and healthy.
His mother is too. As a survivor of COVID-19, they are sharing their story because they want everyone to know how important it is to stay home and stay safe.
My symptoms started March 7th with a sore throat.
8 months pregnant and 3 days before Michigan would have its first positive test for COVID-19, Jennifer Thompson started experiencing symptoms.
My symptoms, although not critical like a lot of people are experiencing, I would consider them rather severe. The coughing alone, I remember jokingly saying, can the force of this coughing cause my water to break? The sore throat was like pins and needles being jabbed into my throat, and the feeling of my head being underwater, like I had, my ears felt like they were always clogged. Felt like I had a sinus fog. I had a hard time breathing. I couldn't smell, I couldn't taste.
She got worse. By March 13th, she was in the ER and tested for the coronavirus. It would take 9 days for those results to come back positive.
You're nervous. It's not your everyday flu.
All the while, Jennifer worried about her unborn son.
There's so much uncertainty, and people will say that there's no studies that show that there's an impact on a newborn, but when you're carrying that newborn, can you really trust that?
Jennifer headed to Beaumont Royal Oak early Saturday morning with cramping.
She had left at about 2 in the morning. She didn't know if she was going into labor or whatnot. I stayed home with our 17-month-old.
A few hours later, she would be in labor, and the news came Trevor could not be there.
And it was not because the L&D floor had taken away support people. It's because I had tested positive for COVID-19.
Her OB advocated for her, but the answer was no.
She said, it's okay, we'll sit here and we'll cry together. I'll be your support person.
Jennifer and Trevor understood and made the best of it. Trevor watching through her phone, a nurse holding it for her. Their son, Hollis, was born Saturday morning.
Looked at each other and we were crying.
This was not the birth Jennifer and Trevor had planned for. No post-birth family photo. Dad had to wait 24 hours to hold his own son. Mom left alone during that time, handling feedings, diapering, experiencing those first moments with their new son alone, all while protecting him from COVID-19.
The entire time I was in that room, I was wearing a mask. anytime a nurse or a doctor would come in, they were in their full gear.
Meantime, Trevor was alone.
My wife just had our second son.
He posted this video to social media to mark the moment.
Is that your brother?
Everyone home safe. Jennifer and Trevor want you to do the same so COVID-19 stops spreading.
But what we do have is a healthy baby, and he's doing fine.
For the sake of your family and your friends, just stay home.
Gosh, what a frightening ordeal she went through.
Kissing your newborn with a mask on.
With a mask.
Oh.
Not right, I know, yeah. We've got much more ahead here on Local 4 News at 5. Back with more in just a minute.